Hello students, this is Ebbie C. Smith, your instructor for Philosophy 1304, Introduction to World Religions. I refer to you as team because that's what I hope we will become. I hope instructor to students and students to instructor and students to other students will form a team that will work together to get everybody to a satisfactory conclusion to this semester's work. The course that we're taking is Philosophy 1304, Introduction to World Religions. You'll find a assignment to do along with this introduction, and it will call for some of the information that you even see on this particular screen. The Philosophy 1304 has the class number 84612, the synonym number 05492. It is an introduction to the course, and below WR World Religion Intro 2 is the name of this particular video. Tarrant County College calls this Philosophy 1304, and it is a study, they say, of the history, beliefs, ethics, and practices of the major religions: Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, and Confucianism. We will study all of those. In addition, we will consider traditional religions, Zoroastrianism, Jainism, Sikhism, Shinto, and Baha'i. In addition to that, we will look at some religions that are secular, such as Marxism, atheism, and materialism. These are usually thought of as anti-religion, but actually they are religions. We will look at newer religions, that is, the ones that have started since 1800, and among those will be the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or the Mormons, Scientology, New Age, and others. The beliefs and practices of some of the major religious groups in the United States and other denominational groups and independent churches, we also will take a brief look at during the semester. We have overall objectives for this course for the whole semester. When we finish, you will be able to write a very comprehensive definition of religion, explain the difference between religion and religions. I'm going to make a chart for each religion that you will fill in and be able to keep. On that chart, you will give information about the worldview of the religion, the founder, if there is one, most basic doctrines, the primary historical dates and events, the sacred places, the holy books, the rituals, the beliefs on future life, and the present distribution of followers. Now, another objective is that each student will show by his or her actions a respect for the religions of the world and those who follow the other religions. But we will do this without surrendering any belief that we have at this time about any other of any religion we hold. In other words, we're not trying to change religions. We're trying to understand all of the religions and give them the respect they should have. Each session will have its own set of objectives. Now, who is this dude that's going to be teaching your course? He doesn't look much worse than the picture there, although the whiskers are now gone. My name is Ebbie, and it really is spelled E-B-B-I-E. Do you remember the song that Johnny Cash sang about a boy named Sue? I'm here to tell you that it's nearly as hard to be a boy named Ebbie. Everybody thinks it's a girl's name because it has an I-E on it. I've had letters all my life to Miss Ebbie Smith. The best one I ever got was from Hardin Simmons University when I asked to be enrolled there when I first applied. They wrote back and said, "Dear Miss Smith, we're happy to inform you that you've been accepted as a student. Your We are reserving a room in Mary Frances Hall for women. Your roommate will be Sally, somebody from San Angelo, Texas. And I wrote back and said, well, don't think it's going to work. But that's just the way it goes. Nowadays, when I take Uber, I have trouble because when the word EBBIE comes up on the driver's telephone, they come looking for a female and drive right by me. So Ebbie is a tough name, but it's the one I've got. I live in Mansfield, Texas now with my wife Donna. We have been married 67 years. We have 4 children, 2 of whom lived in this area. 2 have passed away. Our son Robin purchased a beautiful home that provides space for himself and for my wife and me. I will reach my 89th birthday in April of this year, so I am sort of what you call an old man. I have served as pastor of 5 different churches in this country and have served as interim pastor for some 15 congregations. At this time, I am associate pastor of the South Wayside Baptist Church in Fort Worth, Texas. I preach each week the English service. Our church also has a Hispanic ministry. My wife says that I collect degrees, and I guess she's right. I have a Bachelor of Arts degree from Hardin Simmons University, received it in 1954. I received the Master of Theology and the PhD from Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary in Fort Worth in 57 and 61. In 1970, I received the MA in Missions from Fuller Theological Seminary in Pasadena, California, and in 1985, the Master of Arts in Sociology from the University of Texas in Arlington. In 74, I studied at University of Houston. For what it's worth, I can read Latin, Hebrew, Greek, Indonesian, Spanish, a little bit of Arabic, and some English. We won't have to use many of those skills in this class, but they're there. My family lived in Indonesia for 15 years, where we served as missionaries, and I taught at the Seminari Teologia Baptis de Indonesia. In these years of teaching, I used the Indonesian language and wrote 3 books in the Indonesian language. In 1974, I returned to the United States and began teaching at Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary here in Fort Worth in the departments of Christian ethics and missions. I continued at Southwestern for 24 years until retirement in 2000. I have authored or co-authored some 14 books, including 2 novels. Served as chaplain for 3 hospice services after my retirement, and then have been teaching at Tarrant County College as an adjunct teacher for 12 years in both the departments of philosophy and sociology. So I try to stay busy. Well, what about the course? That's an important thing here. Philosophy 1304, Introduction to World Religions, is made up of 6 units. These units I will give you in just a moment. But first of all, each unit is made up of sessions, essays, and exams. The sessions. Each session will have readings, both from the textbook, and some sessions will have supplementary readings. Each session will have PowerPoints. Talk about those more and later. Some sessions will suggest a YouTube that will add to the understanding of the matter, and each session will be given some review questions which will relate to the unit examination that we'll talk about in a moment. Now, the session assignments, each session will have assignments, and they will be completed and submitted to the instructor via Blackboard. Each session will receive point value. They are learning activities to help us grasp the material and remember it. Some sessions, but not all, will have discussion boards where students will express their viewpoints and respond to the viewpoints of other students. Let's look a little more in detail. Here are the 6 units that we will be looking at. Unit 1 is an introduction to religion, where we'll find out what religion is and how it differs from religions. Unit 2 will look upon those religions that are based on traditional worldviews. These are the sometimes called basic religions, have been called primitive religions, but I won't call them that anymore. But traditional religions that are practiced by people in underdeveloped societies. Unit 3 looks at religions based on cyclical worldviews. That's the idea that history moves in circles and everything will happen again. Even a person will be reborn through reincarnation. Hinduism, Buddhism, Hinduism, Buddhism, to some degree Sikhism are examples of these religions. Unit 4 is religions based on linear worldviews. These worldviews believe that the universe and history has a beginning and will have an end. And while cyclical religion people believe they will be reborn over and over again, linear worldview teaches its people that you will live and die one time, but most of these religions have some idea of a future life. Some religions are based on secular worldviews. They don't believe in a supernatural. In fact, material things, things you can see, things you can feel and handle are what's important. We will look at those. Since 1800, a number of new religions have come into the world, and these new religions we will look at, they are things like the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Scientology, Jehovah's Witnesses, these kinds of religions. We'll look at those as we have opportunity. Now, let's go back to each unit. It'll have 4 categories of materials. The readings from textbook and supplementary. We will give you the pages in the textbook where you'll find material. If there is a supplementary reading, it will be either available at the class menu or a link to it where you can get it. Then there will be PowerPoint presentations. The PowerPoint presentations will be both in a digital format and in a video format. You may use just the digital if you want to. Many students like to print them out and have them. They will be available in digital form in the menu. In the menu, you will have a link to the video. I think the video is going to help you a great deal in understanding, but it's up to you to use it. Some units have YouTube presentations, and there will be a link to those. Session 1 in every unit will contain the unit essay questions. They don't have to be answered until the end of the unit, and that's usually 2 or 3 weeks distance, but you need to know them at the beginning so you can be thinking about and working toward writing those essays at the end of the session. And then the unit review questions are given in session 1. I suggest that you print these out and use them looking for the answers as we go through the material session by session. This is a good way to prepare for the exam. Okay, session learning activities. The assignments help you assimilate the materials. They help you use it to make certain you're understanding and remember it. The discussion boards allow you to express your opinion and to respond to the opinions of others. Every session will have assignments. There will be about 5 of the sessions in any given unit that will have a discussion board. Each unit calls for one or more essays, and I will supply the questions for those essays. I'll say more about the essays in a moment, but they are done at the end of the unit. And then each unit involves an examination. It will consist of multiple choice questions. Those questions will be based very definitely on the review questions. In fact, some of the review questions actually show up on the examination. The review questions are therefore quite important. Now, to show what we're meaning here, here is an example of Unit 1. Has 9 sessions. Notice week 1, week 2, week 3. The unit for Unit 1 will take us through 3 complete weeks. Session 1, Session 2, Session 3, and Week 1 are here. We'll look at each one of these sessions named. There will be PowerPoints. For some of them, there will be YouTubes. There will be review questions. We will help you step by step to make it through to the end of the semester. In each session, there will be a number of materials, and these will be written in the menu place in the course by lessons area. It's the area over to the left when you sign into the course. The description of the course will tell you what the session is about, the resources and objectives for the session, a check sheet to make sure that you have done it all, and then procedures for how to proceed. In Section 2, you will have the actual lesson materials or resources, the textbook pages, supplementary materials with the links to get them, the PowerPoints in digital, which can be downloaded from the menu, or the link to the audio version, and then any YouTube suggested with the link to them. In Section 3, you'll have the learning activities, discussion board, and assignments. In Section 4 will be the review questions. Now, these questions will be questions like on the examination of the unit, and you will want to use them as you study each session in the unit. Well, let's look over that again to be sure. Materials available, the reading, textbook, and supplementary. The reading supplements and clarifies the material from the PowerPoints and YouTubes. Almost all of the information necessary for completing the course will be in the PowerPoints. The PowerPoints are both digital and also video. I try to keep the videos, this one is going to be longer, to 12 to 15 minutes so that it's not a terrible matter to listen to them. But you will look at the videos and do the reading. The learning activities help you to assimilate and be sure you understand the material. And the review questions get you ready for the test. Now, the review questions are not submitted for grading. These are just to help you get ready for the test. No credit for sending me answers to the review questions. The PowerPoints. The PowerPoints are given in the 2 forms, as I've mentioned. You may decide to use only the digital ones, but I think you'll find the videos will be very helpful in explaining more fully and making the PowerPoints more understandable. It is your responsibility to complete and submit the session assignments and discussion boards, completing the unit essays, and completing the unit examinations. These are things that must be done to receive a satisfactory grade. The video contain the PPs or the PowerPoints with explanations. I think they'll be helpful. The use of the PowerPoints is up to your choice. You decide the degree to which you will use them. Now we've got a very good textbook. The title is The Religions of the World. The writer is Lewis M. Hopfe, Hopfe. It has been revised and edited by Mark R. Woodward and Brett Hendrickson. Actually, Professor Hopfe passed away a year or two ago, and since then the latter two have been taking care of this textbook. Pearson Education is a publisher. It's now in its 13th edition. Was first published back in 2000. In case you're not familiar with ISBN numbers, the government supplies a number for every book published if you apply for it, and that number establishes that book in its one and only form. If you do a new edition, you have to get a new ISBN number. The picture of Hopfe is here on the right. I'm sure he matured from that. Here's one of the pictures of one of the editions, the 13th edition. This is a very important Hindu shrine in the city of Yogyakarta. I have been to this exact place myself, recognize this Hindu shrine. It's a very noteworthy place. The authors of the textbook, Lewis Hopfe, notice he passed away in 1992, graduated from Baylor University and from Southwestern Seminary with his Master of Divinity in 1960. It's interesting to me, I graduated in 1960. I don't know whether we graduated in the same graduation exercise. They had 3 different graduations during that time, but we obviously were at Southwestern at the same time. I was not aware of knowing him, however. He received his PhD in Old Testament studies from Boston University in 1965. Now, Mark Woodward, Associate Professor of Religious Study at Arizona State. That is a very important university for the study of anthropology and archaeology. Woodward is also visiting professor of comparative religions at the Center for Religious and Cross-Cultural Studies at Gadjah Mada University in Yogyakarta, Indonesia. That actually should be Universitas Gadjah Mada de Yogyakarta. He studied religion in Southeast Asia and has taught world religions over 50 times in the past 25 years. Brett Hendrickson earned his PhD at Arizona State, now teaches at Lafayette College in Pennsylvania, and he has a special interest in folk medicine and religious interaction between religious groups. So those are the guys. Well, we're always interested in grading. How are we going to get graded for the course? The assignments have a combined value of 200 points per unit. In other words, if there are 9 sessions, each session will have 2 or 3 assignments. There will be point value given to each assignment, and it will add up to 200 points for the unit. Each unit will have the sessions, and some sessions will have discussion boards. Per unit, there will be 5 discussion boards. They have a value of 40 points each, 30 points for your statement of your opinion, and the rest of it for your response to a fellow student. Every unit has essays or an essay. The essay or essays for a unit has a value of 200 points. Each unit has an examination, and the examination is 200 points. 6 units with this add up to 4,800 points for the course. The assignment for the introduction and the discussion board for the introduction have a value of 25 each. So that brings the total point possibility 4,850. Notice below here the number of points that earn a certain grade. 89.5% of the points get an A, 79 a B, 69.5 a C, and so on. I'm convinced that if you do everything I ask you to do and turn in everything you're supposed to turn in, you will make more than enough points to pass this course. The only way you can fail this course is just not do the work. Now, I'll give you a grade point evaluation for every assignment, every discussion board, every essay, and you will get a number grade for the examination. I do give you some additional feedback using a color code. When I read your assignments, discussion boards, or essays, when I find something I think is good, important, even excellent, I will highlight it in green. That just says, good, this is correct, this is important. For sections, should I find them in your answers that have incorrect information, misspelling, or grammatical errors, I will highlight it in red and probably explain what was wrong. For information that I want to decide to add to, I say here's something else you need to remember, I will highlight my response in orange. After the grading, I will give some final evaluations and observations and your grade number in blue. So that is an additional way of seeing it. Students work at their own speed, according to your own time limitations. That's the idea of online work. For best results, you should complete 3 sessions a week. If you fail to do this, you're going to get behind and it's going to be difficult. The sessions correspond to a 1-hour period in class and will demand an hour or a little more each for you to do. As I said, I'm trying to keep the videos for each of the sessions to under 15 minutes. Make a special place at your house or where you live, and if possible, a special time for study. Make you a sign saying this is Tarrant County College and put that sign up when you're studying. That way your children, your brothers and sisters, your neighbors, anybody else there will leave you alone. I wish that were true. But here's a lady that's done a good thing. She's got her sign, TCCD, Tarrant County College District, and she's right there where she can get her work done. Okay, look, miss meals, miss sleep, miss dates, miss doctor's appointments, miss your favorite TV shows or movies, miss your sporting events, Cowboys or Mavericks, Rangers, whatever, but do not miss doing your sessions. If you get behind, you will fall behind. A large part of a college education is learning to get things done on time and done well. Let's do that. Let me help you. That's what I'm here for. Now, you should go to the discussion board, which is just introducing yourself, and you're going to get very high grades for it if you send it in. And the assignment is pretty straightforward. You can fill it out very quickly and send it in. If you don't know the method of submitting the assignments and the discussion boards, get in touch with someone at the school who can help you or some other student who can help you, because this is all important. Okay, we're started and we will see how we get along from that.